Right now at 10, a La Crosse committee voting on a controversial change to a La Crosse intersection.
And why Wisconsin is joining a multi-state lawsuit against the Trump administration.
Plus, why a shipping giant is cutting thousands of jobs this year.
WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. A push to make changes to La Crosse North Side Railroad crossings is drawing controversy. Tonight, the city's J&A committee voting unanimously to contest the DOT's proposed modifications to two intersections, Avon and Hager Streets and Liberty and St. Cloud Streets. It is part of a plan related to the Intercity Passenger Rail project. The DOT's proposed modifications include extending medians and adding four-way stop signs, but at the Liberty St. Cloud intersection, the plan would also create cul-de-sacs on all four existing roadway approaches, effectively cutting off vehicle access to that intersection.
You've got to think about emergency vehicles trying to get through. You've got to think about kids getting back and forth to school. You've got to think about just generally people moving about their neighborhood.
Many subcommittees in the city government against this DOT proposal. The full Common Council will vote on the measure next week, Thursday.
Well, the cleanup continues after severe weather slammed the Midwest. The National Weather Service confirming 4 tornadoes touching down in Eau Claire County. Just before 8 p.m. last night, a confirmed tornado touched down just 20 miles south of Eau Claire. We talked to a couple that seemed to avoid a direct hit, but their house did not go unscathed. A broken window, patio furniture, broken tree limbs, and even their roof felt the full impact of the tornado.
So it's interesting from a surgical standpoint how the funnel cloud, as they indicated it was, just kind of meanders through, avoiding most of the house, fortunately, but we did lose branches, trees, and like I say, shingles, but it could have been a lot worse.
And video showing a gustnado in Winnebago, Minnesota. The National Weather Service did say it received multiple tornado reports yesterday and that there could have been 2 tornadoes in the area. Southern Minnesota also experienced hail ranging from ping pong to golf ball sized.
Well, now that the storms have subsided, I'm hoping that we have a good amount of sunshine in the forecast, Greg,
Yeah.
and less rain.
Well, we got one more day of sunshine, but we do have some more rain in the forecast. The good news, the rain that'll be coming Wednesday night through Thursday is not severe, won't be heavy, but it will be some light rain that'll push through. Overall, right now, we're going to have actually kind of chilly conditions, but there's where your storm tracks are in southern, Eau Claire County. There's your tornadoes right now. Very small tracks. They're Bridge Creek to Otter Creek, Clear Creek, and the one further south. All EF1s or EF0s, fairly light. The signatures, they were kind of bouncing one up and down the ground, but that's where we saw right now the tracks of them. Overall, I'll kind of skip through that. You can see for plan in the morning, we're looking at still kind of chilly conditions in a lot of areas given the clear skies and light winds. 38, getting back up to 61, sunshine in the morning, but the clouds will begin to increase in the afternoon as the system begins to approach the area. Same story for Eau Claire, but even cooler, 35. Some areas further north might actually get to freezing, which is kind of getting towards that frost season where we would like to not see that as much, getting up to about 60 at noon with the cloud cover increasing. Now later on, we will break down the shower chance, tracking that out through Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday. But there's some good news on the tail end of that about the weekend, and we'll break that down later.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Greg.
A woman missing nearly 9 years has been found dead. Shanna Boydo of Chippewa Falls went missing in 2016. She was last seen in St. Cloud, Minnesota on June 22nd that year. A property owner recently found human remains on County Road 74, the location where Boydo reportedly vanished. The case is still being investigated.
Well, still no word on what caused a fire today in La Crosse. It happened on the 400 block of Carr Street just after 5 a.m. 2 fire trucks battled the blaze. Luckily, no one was found inside. Firefighters say the building's roof was heavily damaged.
The Milwaukee judge accused of helping a man evade ICE has been suspended by the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Milwaukee's County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan was taken into custody by the FBI Friday. Dugan allegedly led Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his lawyer out of the courtroom after learning immigration authorities were seeking his arrest. She faces federal charges of obstruction and concealing an individual from arrest.
Wisconsin is suing the Trump administration over cuts to AmeriCorps, joining 23 states after Trump announced the termination of all federal grants toward the agency's programs on Friday. The lawsuit argues the cuts are illegal and are gutting the agency to the point that it cannot function. The cuts would end math and literacy programs, recovery services, and conservation projects at 300 sites across Wisconsin, and 430 members of the agency will now be out of a job. Now, Governor Tony Evers announcing the lawsuit in a release, stating in part, quote, "Once again, the Trump administration is trying to cut federal funding that Congress already approved and Wisconsin is counting on to help kids, families, and communities across our state."
Investigators say the former Wisconsin clerk who failed to count 200 ballots violated multiple policies. Findings show Maribeth Witzel-Bell didn't report the missed ballots until December 18th, also failing to provide instructions on handling the ballots to make sure they were all counted. The report also says no laws were violated and the uncounted votes would not have made a difference in any race or referendum question.
A Minnesota congresswoman is entering the race for U.S. Senate. Representative Angie Craig is officially trying to replace the outgoing Senator Tina Smith. Craig represents Minnesota's most moderate 2nd district. In November, she beat her opponent by 14 points, while Kamala Harris won that district by just 6 points over President Trump. And that's got pundits believing Craig could be an impressive moderate.
She's come out against some of the Democratic immigration policies. She's taken a more moderate or somewhat conservative position on law enforcement.
Now, the Republican candidates include retired Navy SEAL Adam Shorzy and Royce White, who lost to Senator Amy Klobuchar last year by double digits.
Electrical students at Western Tech have some new tools to power up their training. Xcel Energy just donated a transformer to the college. The equipment gives apprentices hands-on experience, something school officials say is helping prepare them for immediate success in the field.
You know, this is a very unique opportunity for apprentices in our area. You know, I do not think that there is another spot in the state of Wisconsin at a technical college that the electricians have an opportunity to work on equipment of this size.
Western and Xcel officials also toured the Apprenticeship and Industry Training Center.
$44,000 in Gold Star grants will soon benefit La Crosse students. The Public Education Foundation is funding 18 projects, everything from building a tiny home at Logan High School to bringing authors to elementary schools. All funding comes from local businesses and community donors.
Teachers have a lot of wonderful ideas, and staff members in schools want so much to connect with their students, and sometimes the barrier is budgets. So through Gold Star grants, they can really bring their brightest ideas to life, and there's some really great examples of that in this round, and we're just so honored to connect the community generosity to these great ideas.
The foundation has awarded over $1.3 million in grants since its founding in 1988.
The community gathered tonight to prepare for this year's Sandbar Storytelling Festival. The fundraising event at Blue Heron Coffee House in Winona celebrated the art of storytelling. This year's theme is Cuban Havana. October's festival will feature 7 speakers from around the world to share their love for storytelling.
We need to bring back the art of imagination so we can get some kids off from the telephone and get them to think and be creative and become artists and make the world a more beautiful place.
This year's festival is from October 7th through the 11th.
Members of the Wisconsin Hmong Lao Veterans Monument Project are cycling for a cause. The group is riding from Sacramento, California to Nashville, Wisconsin to benefit their organization. The WLVA works to recognize the sacrifices made by their ancestors during the war in Laos. Organizers say the ride will help pass the legacy of their elders to the next generation.
Time goes by, our elders are no longer with us because of them, and that's how we got here. We want to bring this to the young generations.
They will finish their ride May 14th, which is Hmong Veterans Day. You can support their ride at WisconsinLaoVeteransOfAmerica.com. We'll have that link posted on our digital platforms.
A community in mourning after a deadly accident outside an after-school program.
Plus, the president's plans to ease tariffs on a particular industry.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Keep your home clean and spotless with Libman. We've got brooms, mops, and everything in between. Get this nitty-gritty roller mop today for just $10.99 after rebate. Elevate your home with Great Lakes Vinyl Plank flooring. The Legend series is durable, pet-friendly, and waterproof. Plus, it features a sound-reducing attached pad for fast installation. Just $269 per square foot after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources now. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs, plus $1,000 spring bonus cash on select vehicles. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Four are dead after a car crashed into an after-school program building in Illinois. 3 young girls and an 18-year-old were killed. 6 other children were taken to area hospitals, one of them in critical condition. Police identified the driver as 44-year-old Marianne Akers, a former food service employee at the school. Authorities say this does not appear to be a targeted attack and are continuing their investigation.
The president marking an important milestone. It's been 100 days since he was sworn in for a second term.
He celebrated with a rally in Michigan and new announcements about tariffs. CBS's News' Erica Brown has more.
And we're here tonight in the heartland of our nation to celebrate the most successful first 100 days of any administration in the history of our country.
President Trump marked the 100th day of his second term with a trip to Michigan, home of the U.S. auto industry, as the White House announces it's easing some tariffs on U.S. automakers.
They all want to come back to Michigan and build cars again. You know why? Because of our tax and tariff policy.
The 25% tariff on imported vehicles and auto parts will remain, but automakers won't be subject to the additional tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, and automakers could be eligible for offsets for cars finished in America.
Some economists say President Trump's rollback will give U.S. automakers some relief, but the remaining tariffs will still lead to higher prices for consumers and a drop in auto sales.
Nationally, the economy remains a top concern for consumers. A new CBS News poll found 53% of those surveyed believe the economy is getting worse under President Trump. And most of those polled say the president is focusing too little on lowering prices and too much on tariffs.
Trump's reckless tariffs are going to make high price of groceries, gas, housing, utilities, clothing, electronics, and other essential goods even worse.
Also Tuesday, President Trump announced a series of new fighter jets for Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Michigan.
This will keep Selfridge at the cutting edge of Northern American air power.
The president credited Michigan's Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer's recent visit to the White House for helping to secure the air base's future. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
UPS will cut 20,000 jobs this year. The shipping giant says the cuts are due to the increased use of technology and a previously announced plan to trim business with Amazon. The company says it'll close 73 UPS buildings by the end of June as the next part of the plan. UPS leaders expect to use more automation in the company's facilities, with 400 of them becoming partly, if not fully, automated.
Well, many U.S. households are worrying about their wallets. According to the latest Conference Board survey, consumer confidence fell nearly 8 points this month. That brought it down to the lowest it's been since May of 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the percentage of people expecting a recession increased to a 2-year high.
We will have more news ahead.
But first,
the good news, we have dry conditions for most of Wednesday, 60 degrees. Temperatures are back too. Unfortunately, that does follow some rain for Wednesday night and all the way through Thursday too. So we'll track out the rain, show you how much we'll get. More importantly, what the weekend also has in store. That all coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
Save the day for Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd. Browse items from dozens of local vendors and enjoy concessions from area food trucks while you shop. All right down Central Ave in Coon Valley. That's Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd in Coon Valley.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables, but since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
Find happiness. Find something familiar and new. Find connection. Find culture. Find community. Find yourself at the La Crosse Symphony.
Get your tickets now for Midnight in Paris on May 3rd, sponsored by TrustPoint at lacrossesymphony.org.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra.
Or get 0.9% APR on 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Or get over $5,300 total value on select Sierra 1500 models.
Where there's a flooded basement, musty crawl space, or wood rot, there's an answer. American Waterworks. For more than 30 years, American Waterworks has been solving homeowners' toughest waterproofing problems. Schedule your free inspection and estimate today.
Firefighters Credit Union has been offering home financing since before the advent of the internet. We have brick and mortar here in the community and have been around for nearly a century. With over 50 years of experience between Matt and Troy, we're local lenders here for you that you know and you trust.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Save the day for Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd. Browse items from dozens of local vendors and enjoy concessions from area food trucks while you shop. All right down Central Ave in Coon Valley. That's Spring Market in the Valley on Saturday, May 3rd in Coon Valley. Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Strong storms and tornadoes ripped through Springfield, Missouri this morning.
Here's a look at the funnel cloud that moved through the city. The line of storms packed winds around 100 miles per hour.
Tens of thousands of residents are without power and assessing property damage. Now, yesterday, of course, with our alert day, we had quite an impressive looking system on radar, but its severity kind of lessened by the time it got to our region. Did have a few tornadoes touch down in Eau Claire County. But is anything on the other side of that system we experienced yesterday, Greg?
We're definitely not going to see any severe weather. It looks like probably for the next week and a half, it's a fairly quiet pattern. We do have some rain coming back in, but it won't be severe, just some light rain too. But for tomorrow, more 60s back in after kind of a chilly start in the 30s. It will be dry all day. It looks like dry for all the way to about the evening commute too for right now. We have the light rain moving in Wednesday night through Thursday. There's better opportunity further south to go. Further north you go, it's less opportunity to see some of this light rain. There'll be periods of light rain, but I think the wettest period will be Wednesday night through Thursday morning. Then there's another opportunity Thursday night through early Friday. Cooler on both days. We'll get back into the upper 50s, low 60s, a little bit below average because of the clouds and precipitation, but that's not going to last too long because the weekend actually is shaping up very nicely. Otherwise, that south-southeast wind will continue to really increase tomorrow afternoon. High clouds will begin to approach in the afternoon and then kind of thicken and lowering. Here's some of that precipitation kind of in Iowa that'll begin to approach the area. It's going to take some time to really moisten up the atmosphere, so that probably won't reach the ground until we get well past the evening commute. And even then, it looks kind of scattered in nature until we get probably later Wednesday night, where I think we'll start seeing more widespread rain come into focus. So most of Wednesday evening looks fairly quiet, just cloud cover, a few sprinkles if you're southwest La Crosse is a possibility. Once we get to midnight, then I think a lot of this activity after midnight will start to increase, and that's when it becomes a little bit more widespread, just some light rain, as you kind of note right there. As you go further south, it's probably going to be a little bit more steadier. Further north, probably more periodically, you'll have some light rain. And further north of Eau Claire, unlikely we're going to see a lot of this rainfall. Probably cloud cover throughout this event. This pushes east. Then we have the cold front that'll be coming through late Thursday night and Friday. That has another opportunity to be some showers come through Thursday night into Friday morning. This will be more scattered in nature as it comes through. It should then kind of wrap up some point Friday morning. So there's some opportunity for rain, but overall amounts won't be that too much. Tomorrow's highs getting back up to mid, maybe even upper 60s with a fair amount of sunshine. That south wind, so near average or a little bit above in some cases. Going into Thursday, we'll have that precipitation to keep the temperatures more probably in the upper 50s, low 60s, even some mid 50s potentially, but that'll be cooler. The wind will turn around from the north too a little bit. So overall, and then Friday, that northwest wind will actually pick up a little bit behind the cold front. So probably the coolest of the day period will be Friday, mid to upper 50s. A lot of areas will not reach 60. Precipitation comes to an end. That's the good news. But then as we go throughout the 8-day forecast, you can see temperatures really start climbing up towards the weekend with mid 70s, potentially some 80s by Monday, Tuesday. We might kind of cool off a little bit, and cooling off means like a few degrees for middle of the next week. But the overall pattern remains dry pretty much past Thursday when we get done with Friday morning once we get done with the precipitation. So that's the positive on this too. So you can't really beat this forecast in my opinion.
Yeah,
if you like warm temperatures. Right now our average is 66, 77. So there could be an 80 Monday, Tuesday, but I think we really could use an extended stretch of dry weather given that we had a wet kind of second half of April.
Oh, that's putting it mildly, I think.
Yeah, so, you know, so planting season's here, so everyone wants to get in the fields and get stuff going. So that's why they want some dry and mild conditions.
Sure thing. Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the Bucks in an overtime thriller with their season on the line from Indy, plus some non-conference baseball action in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Highlights, scores, and more next with Jacob.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign? Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs, plus $1,000 spring bonus cash on select vehicles. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
We see you out there, making the most of every moment.
Happy birthday, buddy.
One big, bright idea at a time. And at Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it. By offering best-in-class products and dependable solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. So when the work's all done, you can find value to enjoy the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
Hey, this $5 Mega Millions game is super exciting.
There are prize multipliers built into every play. So the lowest price you can win is $10. Plus, it has bigger jackpots more often with better chances to win it.
$5 Mega Millions really is something to shout about.
It's available at Wisconsin lottery retailers near you, like this one.
Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rohde. BGR, object to anything less than the best.
Covering all the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
Well, in the baseball diamond, the GET Red Hawks have had a hot start to this season. They're sitting atop the Cooley Conference standings, 7-2 in their last 9 games, and they have the bats red hot this evening. Let's go out to Galesville. The Red Hawks hosting Sparta. First inning, bases juiced, and Mitchell Fell sends one back up the middle to center field. 2-run score. Red Hawks go up 3. Second inning now, 5-0, but Aiden Bush all over this pitch, deep to right field, just barely stays fair. 2 more runs will score. GET up big. Then a few batters later, Daxton Sco with a line shot to right field. Add another one to the tally as the Red Hawks take this one in comfortable fashion, winning big 14-0 in 5. After a 4-0 start, the Houston Hurricanes looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. In the bottom of the third, Hector Steinfeld rips one up the middle, sends in Zach Olson, making the score 4-1. And after the Hurricanes have multiple innings leaving multiple runners stranded, Ira Schmidt is going to crush one, and that will go over the fence and rally the visitors to go up 5 in the top of the 7th. Then a few batters later, it's Caden Ryder up for the visitors. He's going to come up and lace one to the outfield, and it'll clear the bases with a double. GMLOK. They play okay. They want to win this one big, 9-2. A few more baseball scores from around the area. Westby picks up their 10th win of the season, 8-0 over West Salem, and Cashton gets a Scenic Bluffs victory over Brookwood 4-0. On the softball diamond, the GET girls improved to 9-2 as they take down Bangor, and Toma remains unbeaten as they defeat Logan. West Salem gets a conference win over Luther in shutout fashion, and in the Dairyland, Blair Taylor gets their 9th win of the year as they top Oliva Strum. Girls soccer action, Aquinas hosting West Salem. Panthers won by 8 last year. Much closer this time around. Off the scramble, Alexa Myrie shoots it with the left, but saved by Bailey Fawcett. Then later in the half, off the free kick, Hayden Zarin lets one fly from deep, but just barely ricochets off the post. Still scoreless. Then Maya Hoff with a free kick attempt. Similar story for her as it clanks off the woodwork. This one ends in a 0-0 draw. NBA playoffs, Giannis and the Bucks facing elimination, taking on the Indiana Pacers. Good start for the Bucks. Giannis going to the hoop, and he will lay it in for 2 of his 30 points. Milwaukee up 11. Pacers would come back to take the lead, but just under 8 to play. Gary Trent Jr. knocks down the 3. He'd have 8 of them in the game, so we're tied at 87. Then with under 15 seconds to play, Indiana down 2. Tyrese Halliburton slips past the defense, throws it down. So we're going to OT. Bucks up 3. Giannis to Trent Jr. Cash it. Milwaukee goes up 6, but things would fall apart. Milwaukee up 1 now, but Trent Jr. is going to lose the ball, and the Pacers get one more chance with it. Halliburton has it. He's going to cross up Giannis, get to the rack, and score. Bucks fall apart late as their season comes to a close. 119-118 the final. Brewers take on the White Sox in game 1 of 3. First inning, a big first for Isaac Collins, knocking out his first career home run to begin the scoring in this one. Chicago would take the lead, but Milwaukee strikes back in the 6th. William Contreras serves one to right field. That'll plate Joey Ortiz. And then later in the frame, Caleb Durbin grounds one to the 5-6 hole, and it'll get through to score a couple more and put the Crew up 5-2. They'd add 2 more from there as Milwaukee takes it 7-2. And the Twins in the midst of a pitching duel against the Guardians. This one still knotted up at 1 in the 8th. And in the NHL playoffs, the Vegas Golden Knights leading the Minnesota Wild in the ever-important Game 5 with that series tied at 2. That one in the late stages of the second period. So gut-wrenching loss for the Bucks guys. You never know. It could be Giannis's last one ever in a Bucks uniform. You don't know what that future holds because Dame's out for a good chunk of next year, and you do what Giannis wants to do. He's giving you so much, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, let's pump the brakes.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Giannis loves Milwaukee.
He does. It's a possibility, though.
He's getting a little feisty on the court here tonight.
Yeah, there's some. There was some drama. Tyrese Halliburton's father went right up to him, and Giannis said in the postgame something about he was cursing at Giannis, which he thought was completely unacceptable.
Not good.
Yeah, a few things to break down there for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, tough one though.
Very
tough. One. Gut wrenching.
Yeah.
That's the Bucks playoffs every year.
Wisconsin sports.
What are you gonna do? All right, more news right after this.
Right now at Home Sleep Express, get up to $900 off select Beautyrest Black adjustable sets and choose a free gift with purchase. Plus, pay no interest for 5 years and get free white glove delivery. Beautyrest Black and free gift with purchase. Now at Home Sleep Express.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
It's amazing all the work that goes into growing this little guy. The research you've done over the past decades is critical to grow a good quality crop.
The UW-Madison has developed light casts to help farmers manage leaf blight before it takes root in potato fields.
I can't really overstate how important that is.
What's at stake isn't just the crop in the ground, it's the sustainability of your family farm.
This partnership really makes me proud to be a Wisconsin farmer.
One Wisconsin on Wisconsin.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, hold on. I don't think it's gonna pivot anymore.
Just like pivoting from heating to cooling season, it's a difficult adjustment. Pivot in the summer, called GNT.
Pivot! Shut up.
Called GNT. For the best heating and air conditioning, guaranteed.
We have a very special bond, I think, as a family. Spectrum is the connecting thread to everything we do.
It provides us with reliability, lightning speeds, and allows us to do what we need to do in our lives.
From school to homework to entertainment, Spectrum's the perfect match for me and my family.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Right now at Homeworld Rugs, get 10% off Area Rug sale prices. Choose from many different shapes, sizes, and patterns with Area Rug experts in every showroom to help you find the perfect rug. 10% off Area Rugs going on now at Homeworld Rugs.
Kingsport, Tennessee has hosted its first ever hobby horse derby.
That's right, proving that you don't need a real horse to race, just a stick and a little imagination and a whole lot of energy. From barrel racing to jump courses to a mini arena for the youngest riders.
Yeah, there's a little something for everyone. And with food trucks and family fun on site, this derby is less about speed and more about smiles.
Hey, I could do that. That looks like fun. I think that's our next
I think we'd raise the obstacles for you to make it a little bit harder for the youngsters.
Oh yeah, it's our next team bonding activity. I'm gonna have it at our barbecue. I'm gonna suggest it this year.
Man,
doesn't it look like fun?
We're planning a whole Kentucky Derby party just in the last 30 seconds.
Of this. Exactly. All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Get the day's news in your inbox. Email newsletters from News 8 Now. Sign up today. Go to news8000.com/newsletters to get started.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
You're ready for home improvement. Bathroom, kitchen, windows, doors, and more. The question is who? Begin here. The Board Store Home Improvements. The most experienced sales team in the area. The most experienced installation team. Plan with designers concerned about meeting your wants and needs. Choose from a selection of superior products. Receive a detailed proposal and a firm price. No pressure, no games. Recently voted Best of La Crosse, locally owned and operated. More than you expect for less than you thought. The Board Store.
This is the story about a little empathy. No matter where little empathy looked, it just couldn't find its place in the world. Which was sad, because it had so much to give. Then one day, little empathy made a friend. And the friend took it somewhere it would always be useful and appreciated. Welcome to a place where healthcare is all about caring. Amplify Health. A little empathy changes everything.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like a free Wild Bite fishing kit when you spend $50 on fishing gear. All Blazer trailer lighting is 25% off. Plus, we've lowered prices store-wide, so you can find the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, in original.
Can your floor stand up to this? At Sealands Carpetland, we know how hard your family can be in your home. You need a flooring that can stand up to mud, pets, and a crew like this. Don't sacrifice beauty for function. We'll help you find the perfect flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Come in and see our huge selection of luxury vinyl and tile. Sealands Carpetland in Coon Valley, where our #1 priority is you. Stop in today.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
All right, tomorrow should be dry through about the evening commute. Any activities, I think Wednesday evening will be fine. We have light rain through Thursday morning. That looks the wettest period. And then more rain Thursday night through early Friday with another cold front coming through. The weekend is still shaping up to be actually fantastic. 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s early next week.
Love it.
Here comes the sun. That does it tonight for us at 10.
We'll see you tomorrow.